Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure to be back.
Today we're going to be talking about,
Oh, this is a fun one.
yeah, really fun one. We're going to be looking at Fred and George Weasley
Ah, yes.
and a what if
Love a good what if.
about their careers.
Okay.
So our source material today is this article called The Weasley Twins' Ministry Dreams,
Interesting.
A Road Not Taken.
A road not taken. All right.
And it's wild to think about.
I'm intrigued.
Could you imagine those two working
Right?
for the Ministry of Magic?
Whoa. Hold on. That's a curveball I wasn't expecting.
Right.
Fred and George, ministry workers.
The kings of chaos, right.
Exactly. Like, picture those two in those robes.
I know.
Filing paperwork.
With straight face.
No way. That's hilarious just to think about.
So yeah, this article, it starts off with this point that J.K. Rowling
Okay, yeah.
actually considered this.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So they weren't always destined for Weasley's Wizard Wheezes.
Apparently not. And it, kind of makes you think about how her writing
Oh, yeah, for sure.
developed and how,
Yeah.
These characters could have
Yeah.
evolved so differently.
It's kind of like, you see how the twins, they always wanted to kind of, rebel.
Right.
Push the boundaries.
Constantly.
Yeah. And maybe Rowling initially saw that as okay, they could be a force for change within the ministry.
Almost like a magical Trojan horse.
Yeah, exactly. Sneak in the chaos, disguised as, junior ministry officials.
With a briefcase full of dung bombs.
Exactly. And the article, it even suggests that they could have, brought some much-needed humor and flexibility to that whole rigid ministry system.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine, instead of exploding toilets and swamped hallways at Hogwarts,
Yeah, right.
they're slipping dung bombs into Umbridge's tea?
Or turning, official ministry decrees into paper airplanes.
Oh, or those howlers?
Oh, yeah.
But instead of your mom yelling at you, it's a giant...
A giant, ministry memo.
Yes. Flying around.
Oh, that's gold.
I know. So, but their pranks always had this...
Yeah, they weren't just random.
Right. This underlying, resistance to authority, especially later when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. Their humor became part of the fight against Voldemort, really.
Right. And so, do you think that energy would have actually been effective within the ministry, or would it have just,
Oh, that's a good question.
backfired?
Yeah. It's a fine line, isn't it? Between, shaking things up for the better and just causing chaos for chaos's sake.
Exactly.
Maybe Rowling, she kind of realized that, and that's why she kind of shifted gears a bit.
It does seem like she gave it a lot of thought.
Yeah. She knew those characters inside and out.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so why do you think she ended up, going with Weasley's Wizard Wheezes as their final path?
Okay, well, on the one hand, their shop, it wasn't just about pranks, right? It was about bringing joy,
Yeah.
laughter, lightheartedness, especially as the series gets, really dark later on.
Right.
They brought this spark of fun to everything.
And also, they invented all these things that, ended up being, tools.
Oh, totally. Those decoy detonators.
Yes, those were so important.
They were clutch.
Yeah.
So, even though they weren't directly fighting, they were still contributing to the resistance.
Yeah, it's almost like their joke shot became a symbol of
a symbol of
defiance.
Oh, it was defiance.
And resilience.
Yeah, I like that.
In the face of
in the face of Voldemort and everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it gave them the freedom to create
Oh, yeah. To be their own bosses.
To be their own bosses.
Yeah.
To
Back
experiment
loose.
and innovate.
Yeah.
On their own terms.
Exactly. And I think if they'd been stuck in the ministry, all that creativity might have been stifled.
Totally. And they probably would have gotten fired.
Oh, 100%. First week, gone.
For sure. But even though their path ended up being at the joke shop.
Yeah.
Their spirit of rebellion, it was always there,
Oh, yeah. It was a part of them.
Whether they were at Hogwarts or,
yeah.
If they had been in the ministry.
Right.
They would have
found a way.
Found a way.
To stir the pot.
Exactly. It just makes you realize, how much thought goes into, crafting these characters.
Oh, yeah, the depth.
and these stories, you know.
And I think that's part of why, we're still talking about Harry Potter all these years later.
Totally. So it's like this one decision, to have him at the joke shop versus
the
ministry, like it could have changed. Like
it really could have changed everything.
So much.
It makes you wonder.
What if?
Like, if you had the chance to place one Harry Potter character in an unexpected ministry job, who would you choose? And why?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What kind of ripple effects would that have on the story we know?
Oh, that's a really great question to think about.
Yeah, it's fun to play with those possibilities.
And I think it just goes to show, like, even in a world as like planned and detailed as Harry Potter, like there are always these new layers to uncover.
Always more to discover.
Yeah.
That's the magic of it.
It really is. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a blast.
It really has.
Until next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.